In the previous video, we have studied about the conditional statement, also how to make the converse, contrapositive and inverse statements from the given conditional statement. Now our next topic is about using the inductive and the deductive reasoning. So the success criteria is to understand the concept of inductive and deductive reasoning, differentiate between the examples of inductive and deductive reasoning, and apply deductive reasoning into a mathematical. So what actually inductive or deductive reasoning are? When we talk about the deductive reasoning, so remember that we are talking about some universal fact. We are talking about some formulas. We are talking about some rules, some universal equations that are always true. So we are talking about some theory which is based on the fact. And when we talk about the inductive reasoning, so it means we are talking about some generalization, some observation, anything which has been concluded based on the observation is falls under the inductive reasoning. So let's take a very easy example. So inductive reasoning, have a look at the example 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So what you can predict from here said this is the skipped counting, which starts from 2, then you skip 1, after that 4, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, and so on. So after the 10, if I add the 2, of course I will say that the next number will be 2. So how did I came to this conclusion? By, of course, observation. So that is said to be the inductive reasoning. Similarly, next example, every time you eat the peanuts, you start to cough. Why? Because you are allergic to peanuts. So this sentence, this statement also based on someone's observation, and that's why there is a conclusion from that observation that since you cough while you eat the peanuts, it means that you are allergic to the peanuts. Whereas when we talk about the deductive reasoning, which is based on some rules, some exact fact, so we can say that the general conclusion comes because of some specific rule. So A equal to B, 2 plus 2 equals to 4. So if we say that all dolphins are mammals, all mammals have the kidneys. So you can say that if dolphin is a mammal and mammals have the kidneys, it means dolphins also have the kidneys. So this kind of the theory, which is 2 plus 2 equal to 4 or some fact, falls under the deductive reasoning. Let's try to find out or identify with the help of some examples that which one of them are deductive and which one of them are inductive. For your easiness, I can say that when we talk about some rule, it is a deductive reasoning, and when we talk about the inductive reasoning, it means it is based on our observation, and with the help of observation we conclude the results. Each time, so question number 1, each time Ahmed went to the store this week, he bought a bag of apples. If Ahmed is going to the store today, you can conclude, of course, that again he will buy a bag of apples. So what is it? Yes, it would be the inductive reasoning because it is my observation. It is my observation since every time he buy the apples, so this time also he will buy the apples. Whereas he can buy bananas, he can buy grapes, or he can buy anything. So next is a scalene triangle has three sides with the different lengths. If triangles XYZ is a scalene triangle, it has three sides with different lengths. So of course you can see that there is a rule for a scalene triangle that all sides of those such triangles are different. So whatever the angle will be scalene, you can conclude that yes, it will have the three sides. So it is a rule definitely. So you can say that it is deductive reasoning. All mammals are warm-blooded animals. If an otter is a mammal, you can say that it is a warm-blooded animal. So all mammals are warm-blooded. So any mammal, anyone, okay, which is a mammal will be definitely warm-blooded animal. So it is also a fact. So it falls under the deductive reasoning. All right angles measures 90 degree. So triangle ABC is a right angle, so that angle ABC is a right angle, so the measure of ABC is 90 degree. Since all angles measure 90 degree, so the triangle ABC will also be 90 degree. So that's definitely correct. It is a rule. So any right triangle has a 90 degree. It means any angle which has one angle, right angle, it is said to be a right triangle. So it means it is also a deductive reasoning. Every day last week, Anna had a turkey sandwich for lunch. Anna will have a turkey sandwich for a lunch today also. So of course it will be an inductive reasoning because it is a generalization rule which is based on someone's observation. All acute angles measure less than 90 degree. LMN is an acute angle. So LMN has a measure less than 90 degree. Definitely because it is an acute angle. So it is my deductive reasoning. All obtuse angles measure greater than 90 degree. RNS is an obtuse angle. So RNS has a measure greater than 90 degree. So definitely it's also a deductive reasoning. Let's try to learn about the properties of equality in the same lesson. So there are different kinds of the properties of equality named as reflexive, symmetric, transitive, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and subtraction. So what are these basically the properties are? So reflexive property, if any letter or anything is related to itself. So if this circle has a relationship with itself, then it is said to be the reflexive property. Symmetric property. So for example, this circle is related or has a relation with this triangle, which means that this triangle has a relation with this circle. So if A equals to B, it means B is also equal to A. Transitive property says that if A has a relation with the B, whereas B has a relation with someone else, that is C, so it means that A and C are related to each other. So we can say A equals to B and B equals to C, then A equals to C. Addition property. So for example, I have a postulate that is A equals to B. And if I try to add some other letter, let's suppose C, on both sides of this equation, it means I am adding something, which means it is the addition property of equality. Similarly, if I have an equation and I am trying to subtract from both sides some kind of a number, so it is said to be a subtraction property. In the multiplication property of equality, I multiply A and B, the same equation, with some other number. So it means that they are This is the property, multiplication property of equality. And in the same way, if I try to divide the equation on with some number on the both sides, so the property is said to be the division property. And the last but not least, the subtraction property of equality, which you can say that A equals to B, then B can replace A in any expression. So this is the substitution property. So uh, by mistake I said subtraction, but it is substitution property because I'm replacing something by some letters. Now we can understand these properties in detail by using the theorems, by proving few things. Let's see here. Choose the appropriate reason to fill in the proof below. So given is 5t minus 2 equals to 30. So if you look at the first expression, they are written 5t minus 2 equals to 30. So this is already given in the question. That's why they wrote given. Now we have to prove that t equals to 3. So let's see that how can we prove t equals to 3. So let me write over here for you. 5t minus 2 equals to 30. This is given. So what do? We have to bring the negative 2 on other side. So if it is negative 2 here, so what do? We write the positive 2 on the left side and we write the positive 2 on the right hand side. So what did we do? We add something, right? We add something to get the answer. So this, of course, if it is add, so it means I am applying the addition property of equality. What will happen then? Minus 2 and plus 2 cancel. So I will get 5t equals to 13 plus 2 is 15. So what I did actually I combined the like terms, or you can say I simplified the expression. That's why it's simplified is written. Now what I have to do to determine the t? Of course, I will divide both sides by the 5. So when I divide, what is the name of the property? Definitely the name of the property is division property of equality. What I will do after that? 5 and 5 cancels. T equals to 15 divided by 5 gives me 3. So what I did? I actually simplified in order to prove. So you can write proved or simplify or then proved. Even if you are not writing proof, no problem, because main thing is that you have to fill in the blank with the given with the actual property. Try to solve this question again. So ST has a length 23. Prove that T equals to 7 by copying and completing the two-column proof, and ST is 4T minus 5, and which is the whole thing is equals to 23. So what is given? That 4t minus 5 equals to 23. It is given in the question. Now let me write over here 4t minus 5 equals to 23. So in order to solve for the unknown variable, what we do first? We bring the negative 5 here. How we can bring it? By adding plus 5 on both sides. So what property we are using? Of course, we are using the addition property of equality. Okay, so now what is left? 40 equals to 23 plus 5. I will get 28. Now what I do after that? I divide both sides by the 4. So when I divide, which property I am using? Definitely I am using division property of equality. Now, what is the answer? When I divide 28 by 4, I will get the 7. So, what I did? I simplified and get the answer. Let's try this question and try to understand and name the properties. So, here, 3 bracket 2b minus 1 equals to 7. It is given to us. What do we do first? We open the brackets. When we open the brackets, it means which property we are using. We are using the distributive property. So we are using the distributive properties. 3 times 2 is 6 and b is here. Minus 3 times 1 is 3 equals to 7. Now what I have to do, I have to bring the negative 3 on other side. So in order to get rid of this negative 3, we have to add the 3 on both sides. So what is the name of that property in that case? Definitely it is you are adding something. So it means addition property of equality. Now 6b equals to 10. How did you get this? By combining the like terms. I can write simplify, but since here combine like terms is written, so I will say combine like terms. I am using all the numbers or all the statements which are given in the question. Now what I did, to get rid of this 6, I am dividing both sides by 6. So what is the name of the property? Yes, it is division property of equality. To get now I get my final answer as b equals to 5/3.